Welcome to the Happers Live show, where you can get ideas to help you grow your eco-conscious business. For those of you tuning in, please say hi, give us a like, give us a share, post your questions in the comments. The show is only 10 minutes, so if we have time to answer any questions live, we will. Otherwise, me and Helen will both jump on after we've had a little chat after the show. We'll jump on there and we will respond to any of your comments. So yes, today I'm joined by Helen Youngman from Global Kitchen. And we are talking about maybe you can't travel at the moment, but your taste buds can. So Helen is an independent travel consultant and owner of Global Kitchen. And Helen specializes in sustainable travel, but COVID really affected her travel business, as it did with many. And in May this year, she set up Global Kitchen, which brings globally inspired dishes to your front door. So welcome, Helen.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Great to have you on the show. Yeah, no, really good to have you on the show. So I've been loving watching your journey sort of through COVID and adapting, and that word that people use, pivoting, which I really hate, but I like the way that you've kind of just innovated and come up with something else. But it's not just something else. This has been a real passion of yours as well. You know, you've always kind of combined food and traveled to some amazing places. So have you really enjoyed doing the whole diversifying, and kind of how did you get round to doing that? What strategies did you use?
I mean, I've always absolutely loved food and everything that it kind of brings to you as you travel. When I lived in London and worked for a travel company, I set up a food club there where we'd go and try different cuisines every month. So one month would be kind of an Afghan cafe and that kind of thing, and what have I done? Food tours. And I've always loved cooking for people. I've always loved kind of showcasing really weird and wonderful cuisines to people. But I think this whole kind of COVID situation is really, so I've had that idea in the back of my mind, maybe I could do something with food. And but I think this really like forced me to actually do it. And it's all kind of happened really, really quickly. And it kind of grew from being this small scale takeaway business where out of a village hall, where I was kind of doing voluntary work delivering hot meals to some ladies in the village, and some of my mates helping deliver the takeaway to Norwich, to now doing pop-ups at pubs. And last weekend I did Wild Fields Festival at the showground. So it's all just been this bit of kind of roller coaster journey, really.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, so I know you sort of started out doing local deliveries in a couple of Norwich ones, of which I was one, and that's fantastic food. And I love the whole concept that it's a different one each week, and some of them you give to charities as well in that particular destination, which is fantastic. And then you did the Rosebery pub, didn't you? And you've done a couple of different food festivals, the Junkyard. I think you're going to maybe do that again. So
the Junkyard was massive, actually. So I kind of went from doing the village hall kind of set up to suddenly this huge. So I roped in lots of friends, and it's made me realise that actually, I've got a lot of friends that run either takeaway businesses or have experience in catering, and people have just been so willing to help and just amazingly supportive. So that's one piece of advice. If anybody has got any ideas out there, I would say just don't be afraid to kind of call in favours, really. And
ask people for help, isn't it? Really and I know as well you source a lot of your food locally, so again through connections and people you've managed to source local produce that you can use as well. I think that's fantastic.
So there's Lucy from the Soup Kitchen movement. I met her at Junkyard. She came around and asked if we had any leftover food, and we had quite a lot of curry, so donated that to her. And then she came and saw me at the Rosebery pop-up and had some marrows and courgettes, I think, which originally came from Farmshare. And so there's been some really lovely exchanges like that as well. And the Meadow Harvest farm, I've been getting some really beautiful veg from them. So that's kind of one of the main sort of premises behind it, really, is to kind of eat these globally inspired dishes, but from local seasonal ingredients as well.
I love that. I really love that whole concept, and I think that's it's really good both supporting the local economy, but also it's really environmentally friendly as well, because it's a low carbon footprint, isn't it?
And all
So
organic.
I have to ask you, so what is your favorite dinner destination the same as your travel one?
Probably it is. I think when someone asked me this the other day, actually, and it's always really difficult to name your favourite country in the world that you've travelled to, but I think Georgia is up there. And in terms of the cuisine as well, I would say probably it's my favourite cuisine.
All right, I'm going to have to try some of that then.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll definitely do a themed one. I'll let you know when I'm next doing that. But it's a real kind of fusion of Russian, Turkish, European, and kind of Mediterranean, Middle Eastern. So because you're kind of so many different borders, and and the landscapes are just absolutely beautiful, really friendly people, and just gorgeous fresh vegetables and fruit.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's some really I just love the the whole concept. So you put a message out there, say earlier on in the week, this is the set menu. There's a few little add-ons that you do sometimes, and then people can order, and then you deliver on Saturday, don't you?
Yeah.
So, and it's just got busier and busier, so you have like a set amount that you can sell each week.
That's right. I mean, when we were in kind of full lockdown, the takeaway, that side of things was really busy. And I think, it was that whole thing of people having a Saturday night treat. And I then kind of did a set menu, which I think really worked well. And a lot of people said, actually, that dish I probably wouldn't have ordered if it was an option, but now I've tried it because it wasn't an option to not have it. I really loved it. So it's just a nice way of people trying things that they potentially wouldn't have ordered or don't know what it is. But now I've got these events coming up. I'm at that kind of stage where I'm just gauging what kind of works well, really, and trying to squeeze the last few weeks of summer.
Yeah, well, it's that sort of thing of sort of scaling up and diversifying and turning it into sort of a viable business as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
absolutely.
I think that's quite hard to do, but you've just got to try these things out.
That's the stage I'm in. Trial and error.
Yeah, definitely. And so, what do you think then when the world opens up again? Where do you see your future pursuits? Do you think you will kind of still keep this going, or will you go? I know you work 360 private travel as well, so would you go full time back into that, or do you think it's not going to really change?
I mean, again, I just have to gauge it. I really love actually doing this whole global kitchen business, and it's nice to kind of have something quite tangible where you're using your creativity, and it's simple as well. So it's like you make the food, you serve it. I mean, it's not easy. I don't mean it like that, but whereas travel can, it can be tricky sometimes when you work sort of a couple of weeks on this tailor-made itinerary, and then somebody ends up going and stealing the itinerary and booking it online, or so it's nice to actually have a bit of a change from travel. But I hope next year I can just run them alongside one another, because I think they do fit really well. And I did this year plan to run some kind of group food tours as well to Georgia, obviously, food and wine tour. So I had quite a few things like that lined up, which I'm hoping I can run next year, but maybe as a kind of, to promote it through Global Kitchen as well.
Okay, fantastic. So you can kind of work hand in hand, and you can just see the logistics of it when it comes to it. Yeah.
I mean, whether I physically have enough time, I don't know. If the world is opened up next year, which I'm hoping it will be, because it may be impossible to run them on that kind of scale. So I might just have to downsize.
Scale it down. Yeah.
It all in. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. Well, we have come near to the end now. So I did tell you it goes really quickly.
Yeah.
But if you can find Helen, it's at Global Kitchen Norfolk, and that's both Facebook and Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so please do head over. We'll pop the links in as well. Please do go and give her a follow and check it out. Even if you're not within kind of the area to able to get her food, I just love the whole concept. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us, Helen. Really
no worries. Good to be back. I'm sure I'll be back again soon.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. We'll get you on maybe later on in the year or early in the new year and see
Cool.
how things are going. Yeah.
Good.
Both Helen and I will jump on after the show, respond to any comments. So if you want any further information, please do pop them below. If you're watching later, you can watch the replay. You can keep asking questions as well, and we'll check back a bit later. And next week, I'm talking to another travel person, actually, Mark Redding from Talking Stick Global. They are a travel marketing company, and their philosophy is about community, compassion, and conservation. So they've been doing some exciting stuff to help wildlife rangers in Africa and raise money for that. So yeah, so thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Thank you, Helen. Goodbye, everyone, and we'll see you next week.